Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today we are in Heritage Found to do some side quests for Aethercurrents. Fit for survival. Excuse me, do you have a moment? If you're headed south, I would ask a favor. My friend in order to study the plant life and hasn't come back. He has a bad habit of getting absorbed in his work and losing track of time. Last I saw him, he was herded southeast of here. If you could just check in on him, I would sorely appreciate it. Take the path over there, because there's a bridge. Passionate phytologist. Now this is a fascinating succulent. Its development is clearly abnormal. Proof perhaps this species has adapted to its new environment over time? Hello. Hello there, stranger. What are you doing here? For that matter, what am I doing out here? Did I get distracted and wander out of a safe zone again? You appear probably worried sick about me. I have to thank you for sending you. But first we need to hurry back to the drift downs before some terrifying creature tries to ruin our day. Escort the passionate philologist safely to Ethiopia. Oh dear. Welcome back. Glad to see you both in one piece. Forgive me, Ethiopia. I was so focused on my plans I nearly wandered headfirst into danger. If you hadn't sent this kind stranger my way, there's no telling what might have happened. I'd better document my findings before I forget. Thanks again, ladies. Sorry about him. He grew up in Everkeep, you see, so he's not used to seeing plants in their native habitat, and Heritage Found is rather unique in that regard. 30 years ago, when the geography changed, vast swaths of native flora died out, while the rest were forced to mutate drastically in order to survive. Worthy of studying, I'm sure. Still, he ought to know it's not safe out here. I wish he wouldn't be so careless. In any case, I'm grateful to you for keeping him safe. And seeing as he didn't think to reward you for it, I suppose, I'll have to do it. I swear he'd forget his head if it wasn't attached. Okay, then there is one all the way down here. Good. Uishi. Now here's a face I haven't seen around these parts before. Could I borrow a moment of your time? You see, a member of our group has been making frequent trips up the hill to the graveyard. I suspect there's a problem, but he doesn't seem willing to talk about it. Not to us anyway. A stranger willing to lend a friendly ear, however, may convince him to open up. If not too much to ask, will you travel out to the nameplates and speak to him? The man you're looking for is a Shatona like myself. I must admit, this is not the sort of place one expects to make idle conversation with strangers. Are you one of those travelers from beyond the barrier everyone's been talking about? That I am. That explains why I haven't seen you around. Let me ask you something, outsider. Have you ever visited a grave to pay your respects? Yes. Honoring the dead is a common aspect of many cultures, I suppose. In that case, perhaps you could help me with something? Take a stroll around the area, and if you happen to spot any particularly grimy gravestones, I ask that you wipe them off. It's a lot of work for one man alone, so your assistance would mean a great deal to me. Okay. And remember, we are in an area where people usually forget about the dead. So no one comes here because they don't have anyone to pay respects to. Those gravestones look much better now, thanks to you. Or perhaps I should say, name slates? Too bad the names are all written in Alexandrian. I can't make heads or tails of them. You know about the regulators people wear these days? Whenever someone dies, every last memory of their existence is erased. As an unfortunate consequence, this graveyard has been all but abandoned. But I'm going to fix that. What else am I to do? Stand idly by and let the headstones be lost to time? No. If no one else will give a damn, then it will have to be me. In Tual I was taught to honor the dead, but here I'm in the minority. Most seem content to forget and entrust their memories to the cloud. That's why I can't talk about it with the others. They wouldn't understand, not like you do. Thanks again, stranger. Now, can I visit your friends? Is it true that King will be able to ban? I would like nothing more than to free myself from this wretched lighting, but Yasselani is my home. No reaction to the quest. Stress testing. Pardon me, adventurer, but might I trouble you to lend me your aid? I have found myself in a rather troublesome predicament. Earlier today, we were sent a soldier and asked to test out its improved combat functionality. I asked the hunter to take it out on patrol, but not long afterwards I lost contact with him completely. I know the signal is weak out there, but I can't help but worry something might have gone terribly wrong. From the looks of you, you can handle your fair share of danger, yes? Could you go out to the thunder yards and see if you can find them for me? Keep away from that A rank. You saved my life. For a moment I thought I'd have to use my regulator. No, I somehow thought an adventurer like you just so happens to be passing through. That researcher sent you to find me, didn't he? Better head back to explain what happened. You may as well come and join me. I'm sure you want to know you're safe. The hunter told me everything. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking such swift action. These soldiers require energy gathered from lightning, and yet lightning also proves to be their weakness. Apparently it took a nasty jolt in the Fungus and went berserk. Honestly, why are they tinkering with offensive output when they could be correcting this glaring flaw in the design? Rest assured, the engineer in charge will hear all about this in my report. Sorry for the trouble. I hope this small token will suffice as compensation. Good. Okay, and you are a question, I think. Yeah, Auntie knows best. From Nakente. Oh, Shalo, what am I going to do with you? I keep telling you to take a hunter with you when you leave town. Well, it isn't Her Majesty's guest. Did you enjoy your tour of UPS Halo? I was told you even helped set the water distribution system to rights. You know, I could really use someone with the talents right about now. The woman in charge of that very farm just left for the wilderness without her bodyguard. Seems to me she's investigating something, but that's no reason to put herself in danger. Last I heard, she was seen walking up the hill to the east of a farm. Could you go and make sure she's alright? Oh, what a relief. You're looking for a young Shitona by the name of Shaloaci. Now, off you go, and thank you, dear. No mind. Good. Shaloaci. Gods be good. That was the last of my soul cells. Could have really died there. Thanks for your help, by the way. So, what brings you out here in the middle of nowhere? I was asked to help you. Auntie Nakente sent you after me? That makes two people who just saved my life, and... Would you mind coming with me to see her? I want her to know I'm safe. And grateful besides. Sure. But I... Okay, I'm sorry. Welcome back, dear. I can't thank you enough for rescuing this poor, reckless fool of a girl. You're not a child anymore, Shalo. Act your age. Now, what do you say to the kind stranger who saved your life? I know I've already told you once before, but thank you, truly. I'm Shaloaci, and I'm in charge of UPS Halo. To tell the truth, I'm still learning how everything works. I used to be an electrode engineer, but for some reason the government reassigned me. And I'm Nakente, the farm's coinkeeper, or resident Nak, depending on who you might ask. Might you get your name, hero? Desiree Klingon. Desiree? Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? That's a name you'd best not forget, Shalo. You'd be dead were it not for... Now, why in the world would you leave the safety of the outskirts all by yourself? You've been acting so strangely of late. It's clear you're hiding something. So what is it? There really is no getting anything past you, is there? Fine, fine, I'll explain. But you have to promise to keep it a secret for now, alright? The truth is, I've noticed that the farm's harvests have been shrinking. Year over year, I can't for the life of me figure out why. The staff are all doing great work, and as a former engineer I can say for certain that the equipment is all in proper working order. I even checked the pylons and the readout was totally normal. But I know there's a problem. The longer we wait, the worse it will get. In a few years the crops may stop growing entirely. Something has to be done. Well, it sounds serious, and I appreciate you taking the initiative to solve it. But I worry about you, Shalo. I can't have you putting your life in danger. Desiree, would you be willing to help her look into the matter? As an outsider, your idea of normal should be different from ours. I reckon a fresh set of eyes will be able to spot something we can't. She's right, I could certainly use an unbiased perspective. Would you please help me, Desiree? Sure. Yes! Right then, with that settled, I think what you ladies need now is a good meal. Have a seat and your Auntie Nakente will fix you some fresh veggies. And I can fly now, but I want to finish the quest chain. Enjoyed your meal? It's traditional Tonawatan cooking. If you can help Shalo figure out what's ailing the farm, rest assured there's more where that came from. You pierce dirt. Alright, Desiree, time to get started. Well, I suppose I've already started, but you know what I mean. First things first, we should have you take a look at the fields and see if you can spot anything that strikes you as unusual. You go ahead and make ready, Shalo. As conkeeper, it would be a miss to overlook the matter of Desiree's payment before she leaves. I'll send her along shortly. Okay then, meet me by the bridge just outside of town when you're ready. Forgive me, Desiree, but I wasn't entirely honest just now. You will of course be paid for your services, but there's something else I wanted to discuss. I have a personal favor to ask of you. It concerns Shalo. She was born after the Lance fusion, you see, and her parents, well, none of us can remember them. The townsfolk have all done their best to look after her, but I suspect she may struggle with things she doesn't feel she can talk to us about. A reassignment by the government, for instance. For an outsider like you, however, I suspect she may be willing to open up. Perhaps you could find a quiet moment during your investigation to talk to her? Thank you, Desiree. Your help is much appreciated, on both accounts, of course. Now run along and don't forget, you're to meet up with her at the southern bridge. I believe I can fly. There you are. Auntie really talked your ear off, didn't she? Well, I spare you my idle chit-chat. You walked these fields with Her Majesty, right? What was your first impression? Be honest and don't hold back. A little critique might help. The location seems less than ideal. Oh, I didn't realize that was an issue. Now that I think on it, this place used to get a lot more sunlight in the past. That's why it's called Yasulani after all. And the clouds dry in the Shitona Tonk. It's only thanks to electro technology that the farm has survived this long. Specifically those pillars at the center of each field. They're a true godsend, converting lightning energy into not just water but also fire to save over cold and earth to replenish the soil. They're the first thing I thought to check, but they're perfectly functional. So you have a point, this isn't exactly prime farmland. Maybe there's an underlying problem with the soil that can't be mitigated with our tech? In that case, I say we roll up our sleeves and examine the fields more closely. I take the east side, so the west is all yours. Sound good? Sound good. Great. If you spot anything out of the ordinary, just give a shout. Likewise, if I find anything, you be sure to hear me. Now, let's get to it. The soil is well drained with just the right amount of moisture, an effect of an electro pillar perhaps. In any case, nothing appears to be wrong. The soil is faintly warm to the touch. Evidently this electro pillar is doing its job. If you listen carefully, you can make out a muffled crackling sound from underground. Shaloaci will want to hear about this. The soil is nice and crumbly, owing not just to the electro pillar, but the dedicated maintenance of the farmhands here. There's no glaring issues that you can spot. Now that you've investigated all 3 fields to the west, you should apprise Shaloaci of the strange crackling sound you heard earlier. This is the field where you heard the funny sound? Well, I'll be, there it is. It sounds to me as though it's coming from deep underground. Perhaps our long ears really do hearken to the call of the earth, like the Shitona legends say. So, should we start digging? You know, the soil feels a little too warm. What's that smell? Mushrooms? Ah, I found something. It's a box. And some sort of measurement device. That's enough crackling you. Now let's see what's inside the box. Papers. Someone's report, it looks like. What's written here? To Shaloaci from EUP. Concerns about toxic X-ray infestation. EUP? The EUP? How does the farm's founder know my name, and why would they pen me a letter? I write to you regarding my concerns for the future of this farm as well as the potential solutions. This farm survives through the mercy of its technological support, but if the same crops are planted again and again over a sustained period of time, there is a chance the yields will weaken. I don't believe it. That's precisely the problem we're having. This is a brilliant discovery, Desiree. I need to sit down and read everything that's written here. Will you go and tell Auntie Nakente about this? So is EUP perhaps her ancestor or something? Her mother maybe? Or... Ah, welcome back. That gleam in your eyes tells me there's been progress. Where's Shallow? A letter with her name on it, buried in a box in the fields. Her eyes must be glued to the pages even now. I wish I could offer you more details about UPA, but those memories must have been taken to the cloud. I'm sure it must seem very strange to you that we forget the dead. Even we struggled to come to terms with it at first. But we all came to the same conclusion. For the Turali citizens to make a life for ourselves out here, we would have to wear the regulators. All of us, even baby Shalo. At any rate, what matters is that you've managed to find a lead. Carry on with your investigation, dear, and let me know how it goes. That's the plan. What she left behind. Shalo said she wanted to sit down to read, did she? In that case, I suspect she's at the control tower right about now. It's a facility that houses the town's electrope equipment. She's been haunting the place ever since she was a child. Anytime she needs to read something without distractions, like as not, you find her there. As for why she's so taken with a tower, I couldn't tell you. Anyway, I'll mark it on your map. Go and check on her, won't you? Hello, Desiree. Perfect timing, actually. I just finished reading over the report. Turns out Yuppie was a Shatona woman. Apparently she's also We'll get to that later. More importantly, this report details the major problem she foresaw impacting the farm decades down the line. Which is to say, right about now. It says here she buried this microbial colony counter with her findings, so that the moment this particular problem started to manifest in the fields, the alarm would sound and draw someone's attention. Now I wanted to ask, have you ever been to Yaselani Station? The reporter suggested a solution for our problem, but it requires a special device she apparently left all the way over at the station. Before you say anything, don't worry. I won't be running headfirst into danger on my own again. That's assuming, of course, you would accompany me there. Alright. Thanks, Desiree. Make whatever preparations you need to when meet me at the Halo. I'll be waiting. Oh, that's excellent. So about the problem with the farm. According to the report, the cause of the declining harvest is an infestation of X-rays, a type of toxic slime mold. With the electro pillars fertilizing the soil, everything in the ground starts to benefit, good or bad. That's why the farmhands weed the fields so aggressively. But by hiding out of sight under the topsoil, X-rays have had free rein to draw vital nutrients away from the crops. The more they multiply, the smaller our yields. In short, if we're to save the crops, we need to exterminate the X-rays. And to do that, we need the device that's stored at the station. Are you with me? I'm with you. But what I don't understand is why Yupia would store the report and the device in two separate locations. Wouldn't it have been easier to put them both in the box? Oh well, no point in wondering, I suppose. Shall we off then? Shaloaci is now accompanying you. I doubt it, but maybe she says something along the way. In addition to all the detailed information about the X-ray threat, Yupia also wrote about how life here changed after the land fused. Some of it I'd heard from the townfolk, but her writings went without the revelations, some more shocking than others. I haven't quite wrapped my head around it just yet. That's why I wanted to make the trip out here, to give myself time to let all of it sink in. At any rate, I'm glad to have you with me, Desiree. Here we are at Teshpiani, where the stones howl. Eopia's report claims that both she and Auntie Nakente used to live here. Then the land changed so drastically that the entire village was all but flung into danger. That's when Queen Sween turned up. After some discussion, it was decided that the villagers would take refuge in Everkeep. While most were content to stay there, some grew to miss the feel of nature beneath their feet, and some decided to resettle in the outskirts. Auntie and the others could be living the high life in Solution 9 right now if they wanted, but instead we remained loyal to the land. That dusty old town means the world to me, Desiree. I originally took on the role of engineer so I could make life easier for everyone. If I'm going to be responsible for the farm, then it's up to me to solve its problems, whatever they may be. The station's coming up now, just over the hill to the southeast. I'm not in a hurry to cross the finish line though. Slow and steady wins the race just as well. Seems a downright waste to me. With a little elbow grease, these houses could be good as new, but I suppose it's too far from the safety of Everkeep. You know what reminds me? Apparently the Tonawata and the Shetona used to be sworn enemies, can you believe it? But then some king, blue, something or other mended the rift between the two peoples and they came to share the land peaceably. This all happened before Auntie was born, so who knows how many decades ago that was. Well, you had 30 years and some 80 before that or something? No, probably not that long. But several decades definitely. There, right? We've come quite a ways now. Look at the view of Everkeep. When I was little, I attended school with the other kids from the outskirts. That's where I learned all I needed to work as an electrope engineer. Yuppie wrote in a report that she once took those same classes. She said the mysterious machines were a new frontier she couldn't help but want to explore. Then she used the knowledge she gained from her formal education to build up Yuppie's halo. Curious as she was about technology, it seems nature was her true passion. When I think about all the love and care that went into the halo, I'm not sure I have any business taking charge of it. We're nearly there now. Let's hurry and secure Yuppie's device. Truly a sight to behold, isn't it? I hope someday I get to see one of those huge train things running on it. Like in the old days. I always had my suspicions, but now that I'm seeing it in person, I think I've actually been here before. Back when I was younger. All my life I thought it was just a silly dream I had. I remember walking along the tracks, hand in hand with some grown-up while they talked to me about the station and the lands beyond. Now I think I might know who it was. On train, I assume? Here we are, at Shaloaci station. Quite the track, huh? Before the land fused, people flocked here in droves, but these days? Well, no need to state the obvious, I suppose. Now, to retrieve Eupia's device. I think she said it was in this building here. Storage cupboard, bottom shelf at the very back. Aha! Here we are. Apparently this special transformer has already been attuned to the farm's pillars. It should force the X-ray out into the open. Do you remember what I told you before about how the pillars convert the power of lightning into nutrients to help the soil? And the X-ray in turn steal those nutrients for themselves? This device will hold the conversion, funneling a massive energy current straight into the ground. In one fell swoop, the beasts will be deprived of their food source and given a nasty shock besides. To escape the shocks, they have no choice but to form floating bodies and burrow to the surface. That's when we strike, or at least that was Eupia's plan anyway. Isn't she incredible? She realized our soil was at risk of attracting fungi, so she planned out a detailed countermeasure decades in advance. I can scarcely believe someone as middling as me could have a mother so brilliant. How long have you known? I found some sort of official document together with the rest of the report. It stated that upon Eupia's death, her daughter was to be given full control of the farm once she reached adulthood. Now I've come of age, and I've been put in charge of the farm. What else am I to think but that she must be my mother? It feels like something from a storybook. The tale of a humble villager who was in truth the descendant of a great hero. But Eopia is no work of fiction. She was real, and she walked these lands just as I do now. When I was first reassigned to Eopia's Halo, I thought there must have been some mistake. Why me? And there are surely countless others more capable. I still haven't found my answer yet, but if one thing's for certain, it's this. I won't let the legacy wither and die on my watch. At least now we've got a tentative solution for the farm's X-ray infestation. Let's head back to the outskirts and set about putting Eupia's plan into motion. You know something? I think I've come to understand why she hid the device all the way out here. I think maybe, now that I'm a woman grown, she wanted me to see what's become of a life we once had. Just a theory, mind. Shaloaci tells me the investigations made great progress, owing no small part to you. After that long walk, I'm sure you must be as tired as I am. We'll enact our extermination plan soon enough, but for now, let's both take a moment to rest. Oh, and thanks for walking with me. I'll see you when you get back. Let's continue with our extermination. Perfect timing, Desiree. I just finished explaining everything to Auntie here. You know, I always wondered why the government would reassign you to UPS Halo. Never imagined you were a founder's daughter. Honestly, I think they would have been better served choosing someone who was there from the beginning. Someone like you, Auntie. I don't even remember my mother. It's because of her that I was promoted to head of a Halo. I may not be qualified to solve all the farm's problems, but I can at least solve this one. Desiree, it's about time we evicted those unwanted tenants. Once you're ready to get your hands dirty, meet me at the control tower. There's one last thing I think we'll need. Oh, for heaven's sake, here I thought she was worried about something serious. If anything, we were relieved that a local was chosen for the role. Sure, she may be inexperienced, but we all know she's got a good head on her shoulders. She'll grow into it in time. I understand this whole ordeal has been a lot of trouble, Desiree, but I want you to know how much I appreciate all your help. Now, I hope you forgive a little worrying on my part, but you do realize fructified X-rays are essentially mushroom monsters, yes? They're more troublesome than they look, so please be careful. There you are. Are you ready? As soon as I integrate this transformer into the control tower circuitry, those electro pillars are going to send lightning straight into the ground. Your job will be to survey the eastern and western fields and stand about any fungi fiends that sprout up. Take this communicator and await my signal. Our plan begins as soon as you get in position at the farm. Ah, there's a door. Testing, Desiree, can you hear me? The transformer is connected and on standby. As soon as I activate it, the X-rays are going to come crawling up at full speed. There's no telling how many we ought to expect, so be on your guard. Noble X-ray, huh? I'm ready at the south towers. Desiree, how did it go out there? Are you hurt? How many were there anyway? 3 last time. How incredible, you don't even sound out of breath. Well, if you're ready for round 2, I'll reroute the transformer to the fields on the other side. Once you're all done, meet me near the bridge. Goodness me, that was quite impressive for someone without a regulator. I really owe you one, Desiree. With any luck, the X-rays should be well and truly exterminated. It's now a matter of changing the soil, of course, and taking measurements to prevent future infestations, but thanks to you, the Halo is on the road to recovery. Shalo, dear, do you still have misgivings about your reassignment? None of us are upset by the idea of you taking charge of the Halo. The only thing that matters is how you feel about taking up the position. If it isn't the life you want, it's not too late to change your mind, you know? Thanks, Auntie, but I think I'll be just fine. It's always been my dream to give back to the community that raised me. The way I see it, I've just been given a more direct opportunity to do so. I only needed a little time to come to terms with it, that's all. When I was walking to Yasalani Station with Desiree, I remembered that I used to make the same trip with someone else. Yupia, probably. I think she used to tell me stories of her homeland. She built this farm so that our people could survive in the outskirts. But I don't think that was ever her dream. Deep down, I think what she wanted more than anything was to rebuild Teshpiani and the station. That's a dream I'd like to see realized, and it can't be done if I'm content to stay in the outskirts. I don't know for sure what my next steps will be, but I have a lot of ideas. Oh dear, should the coin keeper be concerned, I wonder? Now then, Desiree, if it weren't for you, we may have never gotten to the bottom of this mystery. At the risk of repeating myself, thank you for helping. And for caring. You helped us more than you'll ever know. And I actually really enjoyed our little trip to the station. Next time I have business out there, you better clear your schedule. Alright. But I think that was pretty long for just a side quest episode, so I end it here. Until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.